The Israeli prize, the class is in memory of Jared Orchan. The Israeli prize that there is in Israel a prize that is awarded, the highest prize that's awarded to the country can award to a person. They award it every year to 7 or 8 people. People who make almost like a Nobel Prize. People who achieve new inventions in science, in medicine, and famous writers, in poetry. Every year they take different people. One of the prizes is called a prize for a life achievement. Somebody who did something extraordinary for Israel. This year they gave the prize to a woman. Her name is Miriam Peretz. This woman, what's unique about her? She lost 2 sons in 2 separate wars in Israel. 2 sons, not one, 2. And instead of getting depressed and losing it, she pulled herself together and she became a speaker. She's going to young people, she speaks to young people, to armies, to soldiers. She goes all over the world to speak. She was in Cleveland, speaking about the spirit of the Jewish people. How much we have to give to get up and to help others, to support, to volunteer, to have faith, to have joy with life, to live, no matter what. But Israel decided to award her with this special Israeli award, Pras Israel. And every year when they make this ceremony, that they honor the 7 or 8 people with the Israeli prize, they choose one of the recipients to speak in the name of all the recipients. That Miriam Peretz was chosen to be the speaker in the name of all of them. And she gave a speech that will be remembered for generations in Israel. Something unheard of. She got up and she said, who am I to speak here? To receive even a prize? I didn't invent anything. I didn't achieve anything. I didn't write anything. I didn't accomplish anything extraordinary. Why I'm here? Katonti. I'm too small. Almost like we say in the prayers of the Ayalades, Ineni. I am the one or simple person standing in front of you, God. That's how she felt. She said, who am I to stand there? She says, I'm standing with you. I have one heart. What I have is only one heart who was broken 3 times. First time when your oldest son was killed. Then when your husband died from cancer because of being heartbroken. And the second son, and the 3rd time, your heart was broken when your second son was killed. And she says, I took my broken heart and I chose to turn it into something more special, to do with it something good. She said something in Hebrew amazing. She says, I decided to turn my grief into a song. Now in Hebrew, Yagon and Nigun is the same letters, just in a different order. Grief and song is the same word. The same letters, basically the same word. It says, I chose to turn my grief, my Yagon, to a Nigun, to a song. And then she started to speak about herself. Who is she? She says she was born in Morocco, next to the Atlas Mountains in Morocco. And her parents did not know how to read or write. And they spoke only Arabic, they didn't speak Hebrew. And they knew 3 or 4 words in Hebrew. Shalom, Todah, Torah, and one more important word, Yerushalayim, Jerusalem. And she said her father, every night before he put her to bed, used to tell her stories about Jerusalem, a city that he never saw. He never saw even in pictures. Or did he hear from his parents? And his parents. a city that flows, that from the trees are dropping, flowing milk and honey, that the lions are sitting next to the sheep. Unbelievable. The best stories that he had was about Jerusalem. And every time he used to say the word Jerusalem, he used to say Jerusalem, he used to say it like in a harsh tone, and he used to kiss his fingers like he kissing the word, every word separately. Jerusalem was the holiest word, Yerushalayim. In 1963, one day he tells his daughter, tonight the Moshiach is coming. She tells him that she asked him, how am I going to recognize him? He says he goes with an open shirt a little bit, with short pants and sandals. That night, the shliach from the Sochnut, the messenger, a guy from the Israeli agency, came and pulled them out, sneaked them out from Morocco, and brought them to Israel, to Jerusalem. What is it about Jews who are fascinated with Jerusalem? Why we all are so fascinated with the city of Jerusalem? We are not fascinated. Whenever time we speak about Israel, we don't say Israel, we say Jerusalem. Twice a year, right? And the most highest moment of our Jewish calendar, for religious experience, by the end of Yom Kippur and Pesach, by the end of the Seder, we announce next year in Jerusalem, L'Shana Haba B'Yerushalayim. In the prayers, in the Amidah, every day, we say a prayer, a special blessing, V'Yerushalayim Mircha B'Rachamim Tashuv. You should be asking from God to come to Jerusalem, to rebuild Jerusalem. And even on Shabbat, that we don't say this prayer, we have another prayer that we say, no matter when, any day of the year, V'Techzena Eineinu, may we arise, see your return to Zion. What is Zion? Again, Jerusalem. We don't say, may we come back to Eilat. We don't say, may we come back to Tel Aviv. Jerusalem. Everyone Jew wants to go back to Jerusalem. Why Jerusalem? What's unique about the city that every one of us has a dream to go there one day? Today this week we're going to start to read a new book from the 5 books of Moses. In English it's the book of Numbers. In Hebrew it's Bamidbar. Bamidbar means in the desert. Not only today we're going to learn to read the Torah this week, the day after Shabbat is Shavuos. There's an old question. Why God chose to give the Torah to the Jews in the desert? If you would choose, you would be the manager of this big event, where would you choose to give the Torah to the Jewish people?
Jerusalem.
Jerusalem, in Israel. Schlepping him to the middle of the desert. The Jews really know to go. The Jews are not doing well with the dust and all of these things in the desert. Bring him to a land, set them nicely, can wash their hand, they can drink a cup of coffee. Why the desert? In the middle of nowhere. Why not in a civilized place? That one of the answers the Rebbe brings from the Medrash is that the desert is an ownerless place. You see, Israel is a place, when God brought the Jewish people to the land of Israel, the land was divided to 12 pieces. For every tribe got a piece in the land. It was apportioned. Joshua apportioned the land to everyone. If the Torah was given in any land, the people of this tribe will say, it's ours. Don't touch it. And people from other tribes say, oh, how could I learn Torah? It's not mine. It's the way, if I would give my part, I would learn it, but I don't feel connected. God gave the Torah in the land of Israel, in the desert, in an ownerless place. Nobody should claim, oh, it's not. No excuses. Anyone can come and learn Torah. To be a Kohen, your father has to be a Kohen. To be a Levi, your father has to be a Levi. To be a king, you have to be from the house of David, from the tribe of Judah. To be a rabbi, anybody could. A convert could, anybody could. Jerusalem is actually Very similar to the desert, but on the flip side. What is Jerusalem? When the Jewish people entered the land of Israel, and Joshua apportioned the land to every tribe, Jerusalem was divided between two tribes. Half of this little city was given to the tribe of Judah, and half of the city was to the tribe of Benjamin. Right? And where is the border passes? On the Temple Mount, in the middle of the Temple Mount. So far so that the Talmud says when they built the temple on the mountain, on Mount Moriah, the Ark of the Covenant was in the tribe of Benjamin, belongs to Benjamin, and the place of the altar belongs to Judah. 2 steps away is Judah. That was the way it was apportioned. But you read a little further, you discover something very interesting. It's written in the book of Joshua, and the people of Judah conquered their peace. They chose not to conquer Jerusalem. For some strange reason, they left Jerusalem alone. The people left there, they never conquered them. The Jebusites were living in the city of Jerusalem. The tribe of Judah never conquered them, never chased them away. They stayed there. Then you read in the book of Judges that the tribe of Benjamin conquered the whole land, but for some reason, the peace that they have in Jerusalem, they never conquered. Jerusalem stayed not conquered for how many years?
So King David, right?
How many years is it?
That's 1,400 years, roughly.
400 years.
1,400. Right?
No.
David was 3,000
Oh,
years
400,
ago.
right.
400 years. 400 years. The whole land of Israel was conquered. One place wasn't. Jerusalem. Strange thing. The whole land is Israel. One place, the Jebusites lived there, Jerusalem. Then came King David. Until King David. King David came, and he went and he conquered the city. And he decided to make it his capital. And when he came to the Temple Mount, he didn't even want to conquer it. The king of this little city, the Jebusite, there was a king there with the name Aravna. He came out and he told David, please take the land, I want to give it to you as a present. David said, no, I will not take a place that we're going to build an altar for God for free. You don't give God anything for free. That he collected from every tribe 50 shekels. And with 600 shekels, they bought this land, the Temple Mount. The Jerusalem, because the tribe of Judah and the tribe of Benjamin never claimed for it, it became a city, became the capital city, the capital city of the Jewish people, that belongs to everyone, not to a specific tribe. They kind of gave up the rights to the city by not conquering it. And the Talmud says Jerusalem was not divided to tribes. It belongs to everyone. If the desert belongs to no one, Jerusalem belongs to everyone. Everyone has ownership in Jerusalem. That's why every Jew is missing Jerusalem. Because every Jew has an ownership in Jerusalem. Every Jew has a piece that belongs to him, and nobody can take it away from him.
The Temple Mount, was that there always?
Sure.
Before the temples?
It was partly rebuilt by King Herod,
Sure.
that guy who lived about just before Jesus, basically.
And that's
he
why-
rebuilt the Temple Mount, made it much bigger.
You didn't have to be Jewish for Jerusalem to...
No, Jerusalem became, for the Jewish people, every Jew has a part in the city of Jerusalem.
Okay.
Now, our King David says about Jerusalem in chapter under 25, number 3, Ir shechubra la yardav, a city that was attached together, that came together. And the Talmud says, what means it comes together? It makes all the Jews friends. Everybody is united in Jerusalem. When the Jewish people make the pilgrimage to the city, they're coming all together. That's what unites them. Jews came everywhere, from all over, from Babylon in the same time of Second Temple used to come to Jerusalem. There, nobody asks from which tribe you are. Where is your place? Do you belong here? That's yours, that's mine. There's no mine, there's no yours. Everybody's together. The city of Jerusalem, the job of this city, who is today so divided, the job is to unite everybody, not to divide. There is another meaning for the word Jerusalem. Ira Shalem. The word Yerushalayim is a combination of two words. Ira Shalem. Iram, Irae, that's one word that was a name that was in the Bible. Shalem was another name of the Bible for Jerusalem. They combined the two names, became Yerushalayim. That the deeper meaning is in this is, the Talmud says, it's called Shleimut Ira. It means to say, Ira means fear of God. When you come to Jerusalem, you have to feel the awe of God. You have to know that you're in the capital city of God. And you have to behave accordingly. Then even that only talking about Jerusalem awakes in us some feelings of connection to God. Because the whole message of Jerusalem is unity and an awareness of God.